Hello dear friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Mukesh English. This is Mukesh Soni. In this video, I'm going to have a discussion of first semester BCA B.Sc Generic English Model Question Paper under Bangalore City University. So here, let's begin it. The section A refers to the workbook. This is for 40 marks. In this section A, you will be given the questions from the workbook for the 40 marks. And the first question you will be asked here, you need to read the passage and you need to answer the question set on the passage. So a passage will be given on the question paper. You have to go through the passage 2 or 3 times and you need to answer 5 questions based on the passage. So I'm just going to roll out the passage on the screen here. You can go through this passage and you can answer the questions based on this passage. So I found here these 5 questions. So after reading the passage, I have tried to solve these questions like this. What is Big Boss? So according to the passage, Big Boss is an Indian reality television game show franchises based on the Dutch show Big Brother. Big Boss was originally started in which language? It was started in Dutch language. How are the tasks designed? At Big Boss, the programs relies on techniques such as stripped back-to-back environment, evictions, weekly tasks, competitions set by Big Boss, and the confession room where housemates converse with Big Boss and nominate the housemates they wish to evict from the house. What is luxury budget? The luxury budget is a weekly allowance to buy luxury food items other than the supplied essentials which depend on the outcome of assigned task. Another question, during their stay in the house, how are the contestants continuously monitored? During their stay in the house, the contestants are continuously monitored by the live television cameras as well as the personal audio microphones. So, like this, you need to read the passage and you need to answer the 5 questions, and each question is for 1 mark. You can write either the answer in the one word, one phrase, or one of the two sentences. Now, let's move to the question number 2 from the workbook. Write a paragraph focusing on the given diagram using cohesive devices, conjunctions, or the linkers. So a diagram will be given on the question paper and you need to convert the diagram into a paragraph. You need to use a very exclusive or particular conjunctions, linkers, or the cohesive devices. So this will reflect your writing skill, and this question is for 5 marks. So you can look at the diagram here, which is on screen here, and based on this diagram you need to develop a paragraph here. So my answer is here. The tree diagram gives information about commerce and its types. Generally, commerce mean the trade and the auxiliary to trade. Trade is classified into two types: the home trade and foreign trade. The home trade plays an important role in the national economy, as the wholesale and retail trading involves a large number of people by providing them the means of living. On the other hand, the foreign trade consists of import and export of goods. This type of trading consists of a few number of economic factors. Commerce cannot exist without its auxiliaries. These auxiliaries include transport, communication, banking, finance, insurance, warehousing, and advertising. So, like this, you need to develop a paragraph based on the given diagram, and this question is for 5 marks. Now, now you have 5 questions from the listening skill topic. Here you will be given 6 questions, and the first question you need to answer in paragraph, and you will be having a choice here. Either you attempt a question in a paragraph, or the remaining questions each for 1 mark. Let's see. Describe the types of listening in a paragraph. This is for 5 marks. So based on the purpose or intention of the listener, the listening may be classified as: example, selective listening means one only hears what one wants to hear and often tunes out other things because one finds them irrelevant or boring. Critical listening means it involves being critical about what is being said, taking the important bits and making judgment as needed. Discriminative listening means it precedes the understanding of words and relies on the tone of voice and other um, subtleties of sound to understand meaning and intention. Informal informational listening, it's very similar to critical listening in that we retain the parts that are most important. Informational listening is our way of being educated through speech. We listen to the news or we attend the classes to learn the new things or to gain the new information and new insights. Comprehensive listening means it is the next level of critical listening skill that humans usually develop in early childhood. Biased listening. This type of listening does what it says. We hear things that confirm our preconceived biases, opinions, or exceptions. Empathetic listening. This style of listening is also known as therapeutic listening or for obvious reasons. This allows us to offer a version of a therapy which where we walk the individual through whatever they are experiencing as if we are experiencing it for ourselves. So like this, one question will be asked for 5 marks. Now, if you don't want this paragraph type questions to attempt on the topic listening skills, you have a choice here. You have a choice here to attempt 5 questions for 5 questions in a very short with very short answers. So with this choice you have the another 5 questions here. What is the difference between hearing and listening? The important difference between listening and hearing is that listening is deliberate and hearing is not deliberate. Hearing means that sounds come into one's ears whether one would like to listen or not, while listening means that one consciously pays attention to what one hears. So that is if one would like to hear something. Second question, what makes one an effective listener? To be an effective listener, number one, you should maintain eye contact, be attentive, keep an open mind, don't interrupt, and don't impose your views or solutions. Wait for the speaker to pause to ask questions, give the speaker regular feedback, pay attention to what is not said, to nonverbal signals. So, like this, you can become an effective listener. Now, mention any 2 types of listening. So you can mention any two types of listening, like selective listening or critical listening. Listening means, what do you understand by listening? It's an ability to accurately receive and interpret messages in the communication process. What is hearing? Hearing is the process, function, or power of perceiving sound, specifically the spatial sense by which noises and tones are received as stimuli. So, like this, you will be asked the questions for 5 marks from the topic listening skill. Now, now you have 10 marks questions where you'll be asked the questions to form the dialogues like inquiry, instructions, etc. So 5 questions will be asked to you and each question is for 2 marks and totally 10 marks. Question number 1 under this, introduce yourself to your chemistry teacher as a new student. So here you mention hardly 2 or 3 sentences with the proper punctuation marks. You can say, hello, good morning, sir. My name is Suresh Gowda. I have recently passed second PU examination with distinction and taken admission in this college. I have opted commerce. So this is how you can write the introduction. Request your NSS officer to consider you as a volunteer for Gandhi Jayanti celebrations. Good morning, sir. My name is Satish and I am studying first semester BCom. I would like to take part in Gandhi Jayanti celebrations. Would you please consider me as a volunteer for the program? Next question, express words of appreciation to your friend on completion of post graduation degree with the distinction. So, hi Satish, congratulations. I'm glad to hear that you have completed MCom with distinction. We are proud of you. Next, inquire at the stationery shop for practical record books. Hi sir, do you have practical record books? Could you please show me the 200 pages record book? The another question, as a class representative, seek permission from your mentor to arrange a study tour. Hello sir, all of my classmates were discussing to go for a study tour. It would help us to enrich our history knowledge. Could you please arrange a study tour for New Delhi next month? So like this, under do as directed, you will be asked the questions, 5 questions for the congratulations, for the inquiry, seeking permission, introducing yourself. So 5 into 2, 10 marks. Now, instructions. The question for where you need to write set of instructions. This is for 3 marks. So give instructions to your friend on how to get a bus pass. You can write very simple, write in the imperative sentences in the instructional mode. Go to nearest government bus stop, get the application for the bus pass, fill the application form, fix a stamp size photograph and fill the form. Pay the prescribed fee for this, attach the receipt, submit the filled in form at the counter, collect the pass next day. So that is for 3 marks. Now the next question, give directions to your uncle to go to Fine Arts Museum from Meals by Max. So in this question, you need to direct somebody based on the given direction or the map. So here a map is given, and according to the map, you need to give direction to your uncle to go to Fine Arts Museum from Meals by Max. So you can write the answers like this. Go straight from home, drugstore, take right, go along the Kingston Street, cross the traffic signal, walk about 500 meter, then find Fine Arts Museum to your right. This is for 2 marks. Now you need to three questions, 3 into 2, the 3 questions for WS questions as well as yes or no. You need to form here WS question or yes or no questions. Question number 1, Mohit left for his tuition classes just before you arrived. So you need to find the tuition as an answer, and you need to form a question, WS question. Answer is here, where did Mohit go just before you arrived? Next, the teacher has a book on communication skills. Does the teacher have a book on communication skills? This is yes or no question. Another, again, the next question is again for WS question here. There cannot be a life outside the solar system except Earth. So where cannot be life outside except Earth? So these 3 questions for WH and yes or no question. From questioning skills, you have another two more questions based on the question tag. Movies are not a visual learning aid. So you need to copy the sentence. Movies are not a visual learning aid, comma, are they? If the sentence is in positive, then your sentence is negative, then your question text should be positive followed by question mark. Sulekha has a project to work on interdisciplinary studies. So this is Sulekha has a project to work on interdisciplinary studies. Hasn't she? Hasn't she? Because Sulekha has a project. It's a positive sentence, so question text should be negative. Movies are not. So in the first sentence, movies are not is a negative sentence, so question text should be positive, vice versa. Now, the next question for 3 marks, the correct form of the verb. The 3 gentlemen met 3 ladies yesterday. So yesterday refers to past tense. So past tense of the verb meet is met. In front of the Grama Panchayat library, looking at them, the PDO sent an attender to warn them to wear the mask. When the attender asked them to wear the mask, they said they had been tested negative and they had certificates too. So the past tense of these 3 verbs meet, met, met, sent, and said. This is for 3 marks. Now, use the correct form of the word given in the brackets and fill the blanks. So here you cannot find bracket here, but the word is underlined, security. By using the word security, you need to write a verb into a verb. So securing, Money gives us a sense of security, but securing it is a tough task. So the verb form of the word security is securing. The music was melodious, so the melody impressed the audience. So we need to form into a noun. So the noun form of the word melodious is melody. This is for 2 marks. Now we are moving to the course book. So so you have gone through here the 40 marks questions from the workbook. Excuse me. So now the 20 marks questions from the 6 lessons, which are 6 and 7 lessons, which are prescribed in your syllabus. The first part here, the 1 mark questions. You need to attempt here 5 questions out of 6, each for 1 mark. What is free speech according to Sarukai? Free speech is nothing but the conditions under which the hearer is not allowed to take offense and intimidate the speaker. Question number 2. What does the speaker insist on in the poem Democracy? In this poem, the speaker explores the themes of equal rights, freedom, and change. According to Obama, who gives the Constitution its power? We, the people, give it power with our participation and the choices we make. Question number 4. Who found the unknown citizen popular with his mates and liked a drink? The social psychology workers found that the unknown citizen was popular with his mates and liked a drink. Who is Ramesha? Ramesha is a student who waits for the bus to reach school. He does not have father, he is brought up by his mother. In the story, The Golden Dream, who wants war in the poem From a German a War Primer? Those who are at the top wants war. So like this, out of 6 questions, you need to attempt one and each for 1 mark. Now, answer any one question and each for 5 marks. So here 3 questions will be given. You have plenty of choices here. Out of the 3 questions, you need to attempt only one question, and this question is for 5 mark, and you need to write the answer in a page. Question number 1. Discuss From a German a War Primer as an anti-war poem. This poem states the problems in authoritarian governance which leads to the war or the warlike situations. It clearly delineates the social classes, the bourgeoisies and the ruling class. It addresses the injustice of the social hierarchy that privileges the ruling class and the upper class. Embedded in this criticism is also a hint that these injustices are repeated over the ages. Though the poem seems to be pessimistic in its portrayal of reality, it also points to alternatives that are possible. The poem portrays the different effects of war on people. It defines the characteristics of highly placed and lowly people. A different picture of leader is also displayed in this long poem. Images of poverty is also reflected in this poem. A picture of class divide between the rulers and the ruled is exhibited here. The poem consistently refers to the repetitions of situations of war. Hence, the poem discusses the futility of war. Now, the second question, describe Hattur bus stop. The people of Hattur are somewhat detached a lot. Since Hattur was surrounded by thick jungles and flanked by 2 streams on its right and left, it did not have a government road. Though people had lived there for generations, the people had not even been marked on the village had not even been marked on the government map. People of the village had never paid any taxes. The government would not sanction even a paltry coin to the village in its budget. No one went to the village even to ask for the votes. So no politics was possible in that village of just 3 or 4 houses. So there were thick jungles for miles on both sides of this highway, but for a few vehicles that occasionally piled on the road, not a single soul could be seen on that road. This is the description of the Hattur bus stop. And one more thing I would like to mention here, the Hattur bus stop is surrounded by thick forest, so many trees, and you cannot find even single person standing there. People just wait for the bus. A few people can be seen, not many, and they don't people don't dare to stay there for long hours. Now the third question, freedom does not come with compromise and fear substantiate it. Democracy by Langston Hughes is a direct and powerful poem that asks the reader to reassess their ideas about freedom and democracy. It was published in 1949 and is focused on the fight for equal rights under the law, including the ability to vote for African Americans. The poem explores the Black American experience at a time of extreme segregation, inequality, and state sponsored racism. The speaker argues that the United States cannot truly be a democracy until everyone has equal rights, and that equality and freedom are as necessary as food when it comes to survival. The speaker further suggests that democracy will only come out through a powerful social movement for change. So, in the first stanza of Democracy, the speaker begins with a simple statement: democracy is not going to be realized through compromise and through fear. The masses will not be silenced into compliance through persuasion. Freedom is not gained through incremental changes, but through a complete overhaul of the system that has sought to dis that has sought to disenfranchise black voters at every turn. So, like this, out of the three questions, you need to attempt one question that is for 5 marks. Now, the last section of your question paper, out of three questions, you need to attempt one question that's for 10 marks. How does a society evaluate modern man in the poem The Unknown Citizen? The Unknown Citizen is a poem that Auden wrote at a turning point in his life when he left England for the USA and left behind the idea that his poetry could make anything happen in the world. The year was 1939. Hitler had plunged Europe into darkness, and the young Auden was horrified. But he had already done his bit for the cause, having married Erika Mann, the daughter of the famous writer Thomas Mann, to save her from the brutality of the Nazis. His move to America helped broaden his artistic output. He began to concentrate on religion and relationships in his poetry, as opposed to the left-wing politics, and he also ventured into writing drama and liberty. The Unknown Citizen is a typical audience poem in that it shows the poet's profound concern for the modern world and its problems. The speaker of the poem concludes that the man had lived an entirely average, therefore exemplary life. The poem is a satire of standardization at the expense of individualism. Auden dramatizes his theme by showing the glaring disparity between the complete statistical information about the citizen compiled by the state and the sad inadequacy of the judgments made about him. The poet seems to say statistics cannot sum up an individual and physical facts are inadequate to evaluate human happiness because man does not live by bread alone. In the phrase the word unknown means ordinary, obscure. So the whole phrase means those ordinary and obscure soldiers as citizens of the state who let down their lives for defending the motherland wanted name and fame, but they remained unknown. Thus, the unknown citizen means the ordinary average citizen in the modern industrialized urban society. He has no individuality and identity. He has no desire for self assertion. He likes to remain unknown. At the end of the poem, the poet asks two questions: was he free? Was he happy? No government statistics can ever answer these kinds of questions. By asking these questions, the poet is drawing our attention to the question of freedom and happiness. And ironically, the poet suggests that the modern man is slave to routine and he is incapable of understanding such concepts like freedom and happiness. Therefore, such a question in this context would be absurd. Second question, comment on Obama's speech. President Barack Obama's farewell address serves as a symbolic to an 8-year tenure as a president of the US. The standard themes in Obama's public addresses have been hope and change, and the president continues to elaborate on those here while describing accomplishments of his administration and thanking important people. Obama uses his last address as president to craft a narrative in three strands. One is past, present, and future. He meant to inspire civic engagement in his audience. In his last effort to inspire the American people, President Obama concluded his second and final term as President of the United States by carrying out his farewell address. He mentioned the trials and tribulations, the overall achievements, the work in progress of himself and the American people as a whole. Not only did the speech conclude his time as the 44th President of the United States, it also portrayed the legacy he intended to leave among the citizens of America. The main components of his speech included his use of ethos to establish the success of his presidency, logos to reassure Americans that all is well, and pathos to declare that he is one with the people, not above them. The last question of your question paper, explain the theme the theme in democracy. The poem opens with the speaker talking about democracy never coming through compromise and fear. The speaker has as the speaker has a, the speaker has as much a right to own the land and stand on his own 2 feet, just like anybody else. He then goes on to talk about the folks who say freedom will come tomorrow. Just let it take its course. The speaker feels those people have got it wrong. Since he cannot live on tomorrow's bread, freedom is a strong seed and is planted in great need. Since the speaker lives here, he deserves freedom just like anybody else. Throughout democracy, Hughes explores the themes of equal rights, freedom, and change. He's advocating for all the three of these things while at the same time asking the reader to consider why he has to work for them at all. Equal rights for all should mean equal rights for all. He's speaking for any minority whose rights under the law have been stomped out for or suppressed all over the world, but specifically in America. So this is how the last section of this question paper stands for 10 marks, and this is how you can attempt 20 marks question from the course book. So dear friends, I have made each and every chapters, all the 7 chapters videos and a few topics of the workbooks, so you can go through the links. I have already mentioned the links of each chapter's videos in my description box. So you can, if you would like to go through each chapter thoroughly, you can watch my all the videos of all the chapters which are in your question paper. So thank you so much. I wish you good luck for the examination. Dear friends, thank you so much for watching this video. You can reach me at mukeshenglish@gmail.com. Please do subscribe the channel, click on the like button for more videos on literature, workbook, pronunciation, grammar, communication skills, presentation skills, interview skills. Stay in tune with Mukesh English. Thank you once again.